name is Andy White, Technical Support Director with Epygi, and I will be your host this morning as we look at the QX school usage scenarios and how the QX can be used to bring together a lot of endpoints to solve some of the solutions that we need for the school systems out there. All right, we're going to take a look at I've allowed an hour session. We're going to review some slides. We're going to take a look at configuring some various endpoints like cameras and door stations and paging devices, and we'll take a look at how you do that. I'll show you how to set that up. Look at some call scenarios, some paging options, surveillance and security, which is always important. We want to get some security alerts, the class change bells, and then we'll wrap it up by looking at the support portal. And at the end, we'll save some time for questions. I will have everybody muted for the duration of the call. And towards the end, like I said, we'll try to get to some questions if you have some. All right, what are some of the requirements when it comes to solutions for schools? All right, the first and one of the main things is it's got to be reliable. All right, you need security alerts these days. So obviously that's with all that's going on out there. 911 notification, panic buttons, emergency alert system, all that's got to be available. All right, it's evolved. There's a lot more requirements than there was at one time, obviously. We wanted to be able to do paging to individual classrooms and to designated paging zones. Door entry access controls are important. People come to the front door of the school, they shouldn't just be allowed to walk in anymore. Okay, they need to be able to ring a bell and somebody take a visual and take a look at them and then either allow or deny access. We need some flexibility for dialing plans and be able to integrate with some other solutions. And the school system is always on a budget, so affordability is a concern as well. All right, how do you bring some of these solutions together? What we want to show is how you can do that with the Epygi, the QX product line. How you can bring a lot of these diverse various endpoints together and partner software to offer the functionality that's required. With the audio video phones, it's based on simple, we can allow voice, of course, and video calls between phones and to be able to dial the cameras. Door openers can be programmed. They can ring groups of phones for access control. You can see and you can talk to the person at the door and then allow the door to be open using a keypad. You can use the phones to page classrooms or to paging zones, and you can also page through cameras. For a multi-campus environment, you can set up a dialing plan, 2-3 digit dialing, actually however many digits that you need. You can also reach cameras at the other locations and door openers. And with third-party software, they can be used for bells, announcements, emergency notifications. You can even do some of that within the QX itself, which I'll show you how to do. Of course, you can program a panic button on the classroom phones. So when it's pressed, you can dial many phones, and it plays. It can even have an alert where you can, panic alert where you can broadcast a message. All right, you have a lot of these different devices. Looking at the page, it shows a lot of different devices out there, a lot of different endpoints. We want to show you how you can integrate many of these solutions with Epygi and to provide you a lot more opportunities for integrators. Obviously, more opportunities, more revenue. We've partnered with all these many different manufacturers. All right, and all these devices have been used at one time or another with the system. We've got video phones with Polycom, Fanville, Yeelink, Grandstream, AccuVox, a variety of different SIP phone manufacturers, over 15 and counting. Over 160 different supported phone models and counting. Many different SIP trunk providers. I've listed just a handful here: ClarityTel, SoTel, NextVortex, FlowRoute. But we've worked over the years, Epygi, we've worked with literally hundreds of ITSPs. All right, so this is obviously a very short list. Door openers like Mobotics and CyberData, Alphatech, Surix, 2N, video cameras, Mobotics, GrandStream, AccessCom, paging adapters, different audio devices like Sennheiser, Adasound, and then other devices such as Leviton, where you bring in the whole home automation solution. So I want to show how we can bridge together all these different devices and bring them together. We do show this slide shows the solution for workplace as well as schools. Some of the scenarios. Okay, you have zone paging, where you can have you can page to a phone or cameras. You can have a dial or scheduled notifications on the QX to either one or many paging devices. Surveillance. So here you got you can dial into camera. So you got an overhead camera. Like all these will be treated. You see the phones here on the left. Those can be those are obviously extensions. They can have panic buttons on them. The cameras can have extensions on them. Door openers can be treated like an extension. You have access control, dial notifications with panic buttons to classrooms or mass notification. We can have scheduled notification, and you can have also you can do notifications for things like class change. Okay, there's a software vendor out there for it's Bell Commander, and they have a software application, and it works with SIP. They have a SIP client endpoint, so it can be initiated, and it can work with the QX product. And then paging adapters for overhead paging. All right, you have some of the basic functions, usage scenarios. Find me, follow me. For example, like somebody at a door station comes to the door, they want access. They press the door opener. They can dial to many extensions. They can go after hours to a voicemail or after hours to a remote phone or mobile phone. And then once you answer the call, you can open a door with a keypad if needed, if you know the person. From your extensions, you could dial to security cameras and make video calls. Cameras, for example, like this overhead camera. When somebody comes into view of that camera or somebody walks in front of it and that they're not supposed to be there, it can trigger calls to phones and apps, so you can actually see the person and see what they might be doing. All right, when you're looking at multi-schools, school system, obviously, many times you get it's not just one school, but many schools that you're working with, and you can have calls between those schools. You can call to the other cameras or door access devices and things like that. Of course, all that can be set up with a unified dialing plan. In this case, it shows us the extensions in the 300 range for one school, 400 and 200 range for the third school. But that's flexible. You can set that up to be whatever you want. Some of the competitive advantages: all software and hardware is designed in-house with the Epygi solution. All right, we have developed the hardware, all the QX devices. We've done all the hardware design, component layout, all that's been designed in-house, as well as the software. Okay. Free firmware, software upgrades for life, open standards, compatible with, as we've seen, with major brand SIP telephones, excellent technical support and training. Got mature quality products. We're not new at this. We've been around since 2000. QX is obvious. It's matured. It's our third generation product, and many people have been with us for a long time. They've seen that maturity take place. Very low power consumption. You can also do redundancy. And it's a robust system, ideal for the needs of school districts. All right, so we just want to get the word out, let everybody know some of the things that we can do. So let's take a look at the product. I'm going to be logging into this morning. We got a Epygi QX200. Local system here. All right, we've already done, there is another webinar that I've done previously. It's a good bit longer. It's a 3-hour webinar on how to do the basic configuration of the system. So we're going to, obviously, we're not going to start at the beginning. So we're going to jump right into the extensions and go to the extensions tab. So this is the extensions management table. As you can see here, we've got a couple extensions at the top in green. Those are the auto tenants. And then you've got the user extensions. When you're creating the user extensions, oftentimes those extensions are going to match up with the classroom number. So the extension number is a classroom number. You can also have extensions for voicemails for teachers and things like that. You're open to, when you add these new extensions, they could be 2-digit, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit. You can have a mix and match of various length extensions, so you're not limited in any way there. We use extensions for not just regular, as you're going to see, not just user extensions, but we also use extensions for a lot of these endpoints, as you're going to see. For example, like cameras and door stations are going to be treated in a system just like a regular extension. We also have, you can have extensions that we use. We refer to these as, each extension, first of all, each extension would be assigned on this page. You can see it's attached to an IP line, and that's where you're going to define the endpoint. Whether it's going to be an IP phone, whether it's going to be a paging adapter or camera, door station, they're all going to be treated, they're going to be assigned to an IP phone, or as we refer to it as an IP line. Some extensions, for example, like extension 250 is what we refer to as a virtual extension, simply because it does not have a phone instrument assigned to it. And as you'll see, virtual extensions can be very useful. You can receive your incoming calls to the extensions, to these virtual extensions, and use those to ring several phones. They're going to be used in different call scenarios. All right, we also have extensions for some features as well. You can see like call pickup and call park and paging groups and call recording, so we'll use extensions that way. So the first thing you're going to do is come in, you're going to create your extension. Okay, when you do an add, it'll specify which extension number you want to be and how that extension will be used, whether it's going to be a regular user extension or an auto tenant, etc. All right, then after you create the extension, you can, for example, you can go to, let's go to Andy's extension 100. You could either put a check beside it, do an edit, or we've given you these little icons here. These are shortcuts. The one on the right will take you to the admin settings, where I can change the display name, and you can assign the IP line that that extension is assigned to. All right, of course, there's some other features here and things like that that we're not going to